Hey everyone, this is Jack and welcome to your free video. So let's check out earnings. Zoom reporting a pretty awesome earnings and about 30 points higher right now after hours. So that should be an interesting scenario for the open tomorrow. It was already up 10% for the day. So pretty interesting stuff. All right, so we're getting through a pretty wild earnings season. And the NASDAQ went right above 300. It took us about an hour in the afternoon. Here's a 5-minute chart on the left-hand side. You can see that was a pretty steep climb after the pit bull low from this morning all the way into about 10 o'clock, where it took a breather and it looked like it was going to just kind of fall apart there for a minute whenever Amazon and Apple weren't really holding up. And then you got a straight up rally in Amazon. Tesla's holding up nicely. Netflix above 540s holding up nicely. It's a pretty strong day. I mean, after last week, I mean, we're back in it, right? Nothing really happened, and the market pulled back. And I was talking about the buying spot of the year. That may have been it, or we just continue to see more volatility through the earnings season. I have my eye on 3 names. The first one is Etsy. Okay, it's up 11%. I know that that's a 1-minute chart, so that could kind of skew your vision a little bit, but pretty solid day. Etsy, Chewy looks solid. Okay, Chewy has a little bit of squeezing going on larger time frames, and it's back down to the daily 50. So if we can hold here, that looks pretty solid for a whipsaw squeeze firing to the upside. So as long as everything holds, if you take a look at Amazon, you can zoom in and go, okay, we don't have a squeeze, but if we go into maybe an hourly chart, we're starting to, once again, squeeze with bullish momentum. I think we take out the previous highs at 31.72. Even the 50% retracement would be 32.18. So we do have some, it's going to take another 1% or 2% move. If these are lower highs and lower lows, then this is the top as well. So tricky markets. I always tell new traders, hey, take it easy. This is a very difficult market to trade in if you don't know what you're doing, and it's just best to watch your position size. In the meantime, I want to take a look at JMIA. Okay, it's up 6%. This is one I've been following for quite some time, ever since it started to take off. And the reason why I knew it was going to take off is because we had a squeeze way back here in October, and it was a high compression. You had really good earnings, and JMI's just really had a lot of volume and momentum to support it, and picking up more support along the way. You can see those Fibonacci levels right there. So these are my top picks for continuations after a pullback. JMIA, Chewy, and I also think what they have in common is high short interest. So anytime that happens, you're starting to already form a normal compression squeeze on Chewy, and maybe other things follow up as well. I'm going to address GME real quick. I know that everyone's talking about GameStop and the day that it had. This could continue. It is kind of a weird overnight situation where you can gap up and then kind of sell off at nighttime, but we're really looking for a strong opening off of the hourly chart back into at least 130. And looking for that gamma squeeze. So I know that we have some squeezes on lower time frames, but there was some good volume pouring in. If you take a look at the option chain, it was trading 49 million, a little bit more calls over puts. Looks like some people coming in there with the swiftness, trying to go for round 2, which would be hilarious. But we'll see what happens. The option chain, if you go into March monthlies, you can see that there's a lot of open interest, a lot of volume at the 100 strike, and then a little bit of I call these heartless romantics up here at 200, just living on a prayer, just out here thinking about executing those 2,800 open contracts there. We'll see what happens, but pretty miraculous market so far, and it'll be interesting to see Zoom. Now, what is interesting about Zoom is 425, 427 is not a tall order. Okay, it could totally gap up tomorrow and continue higher. We could be talking about 450, or getting at least into, once we break through the 786 at 453, Then you have a 1272 at 529. And what's really wild about this chart is if you zoom it out to a daily chart, that's not really a tall order either. You know, we've been there. We've been to 529, we've been to 555, we've been to 583. Well, I say that, let me see. 588. All right. So this is what I have my eye on. High short interest, good pullbacks, buying the pullbacks, and then just continuing to go long calls or sell put credit spreads until it doesn't make sense to. And right now it just makes sense to go with the trend. So hopefully that's helpful, and I will see you in the next one.
Without simpler trading, I could not have financial independence.
This is one of the best investments I ever made in my life.
It's helping me find consistency.
It's one of the things that won me.